Okay, I know a lot of times I don't wear these when I do the videos because there's glare. Sometimes I do wear my glasses with the glare regardless of how the glare looks and whatever, but you know, I do need them to function, like to drive, read, all that. To function in general society, I'm usually wearing these. That's kind of, there's a point to this. Um, as it has to do with this. Okay, guys, so this is the officially unofficial Geek Channel um, collected edition Flashback Friday. I mean, it's more than a year old, so why the hell not? My name is Carrie Quinn, and as always, I am here with your geeky, fun stuff every video. A little heavy on the comic stuff, not completely comic, but we'll say pop culture. I'm heavy with the pop culture. Yeah, geek culture, Yeah. So, anyways, not a very strong beginning because I don't like um not liking things, and that's kind of what we have here. All right, guys. So I read Metal, and now I've read The Batman Who Laughs by Scott Snyder and Jock. Um, and I gotta look at something here, guys, because here's the thing. My biggest problem here. Okay, so we've got Scott Snyder and James Tinian the fourth writers. Jock, artist. Jock, Eduardo Rizzo, David Barron, Dave Stewart. Dave Stewart is going to be coming up actually in my Sunday show because he was the colorist for Batman Beyond the White Knight, which, spoiler alert, I loved. Um, we've got the collection cover artist, which is Jock. And we've got Sal Cipriano. I hope that's how you pronounce his name, especially when I'm going to be definitely talking about his work in this video. Comic books are obviously, if you read comic books, if you're a fan of the medium, you know that comics are not just about the writing, not just about the story, but also the visuals, the art. Okay. When it comes to art in this thing, top notch. This stuff, you gotta understand here, the thing is this is a guy that is on the top of his game. I've never really heard many people criticize Jock in his work and how beautiful and yeah, just how beautiful and artistic, and it takes. Jock is one of those artists that takes comic book art and brings it up to the level of fine art. And I'm gonna stand by that, guys. Really, I am. There's the way his command of color, where like he adds color, but yet it's really an interesting talent when you can add color to something that's dark and it still looks dark as fuck. And Jacques has done that. Kudos to him. Because one of the things I think is very important with a story like this is to be able to show contrast and darkness because of the very nature of what we're talking about here. And okay, so here's the thing. The Batman Who Laughs is a character that was first introduced in Metal, which I happen to have sitting right here at my desk. The 3 volumes that I have, not all the volumes of, but the 3 I happen to own of Metal. He originates in Metal, specifically in the Teen Titans Resistance issue. That would be Teen Titans number 12. That is the first official appearance of the Batman Who Laughs. If you have read Metal, you know that the Batman Who Laughs is a Batman from another parallel universe, another dimension, universe, what have you, where Batman has basically, in a nutshell, made the decision to kill the Joker. And when that happens, there's a toxin that's emitted from the Joker's heart, and it infects Bruce Wayne Batman to make him basically a hybrid of the two, of Batman and the Joker. The contrast in art, but still looks dark as fuck, was, I'm thinking, if it was not a conscious decision on the part of the artist, it was a happy mistake. Because or if it was just natural, then you know what, kudos. I cannot complain about the art in this book. That art took what I wasn't really enjoying all that much for various reasons, only my own, okay, and made it something that I did want to keep going on, that I didn't quit on, because there were moments where I almost quit on this, and it's it is upsetting to me, because I feel like there's a part of me that there's a part of me, most definitely, that feels like I should really be liking this particular stuff more, but I'm not. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay not to like something. And that's fine. I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I articulate how I didn't like it, and I think I got something here, okay? Art aside, art, fantastic, wonderful. Chef's kiss on the art. The art, like I said, kept me going. And I really feel like I should like a story like this and a story like Metal a lot more than I did. So I'm not exactly sure how to put my finger on it. So let's just talk about, first off, what I liked. I like multi-dimensional, multi-universal stories usually. Come on, like, I love Doctor Who. So this is something that's not unfathomable for me. I love Doctor Who. I love other stuff like that. Time travel slash multi-dimensional travel is not something that I normally, don't like, genre theme wise, which made my decision that I didn't really like Metal surprising, into my decision that I didn't really like Batman Who Laughs all that much story wise. I think that the concept of Okay, so here's the thing. Basically what happens is the Batman Who Laughs returns, and you know, this whole story starts out with Batman finding out that there's different versions of Bruce Wayne showing up and being killed in his Gotham. And so he starts trying to figure out what's going on with that. So that is a concept first off. That is a concept first off that I am, somebody help me out here, but I just do not think is completely fleshed out in a way that it makes sense. Like, okay, so we have the different versions of Batman here, or excuse me, we have different versions of Batman. We'll get to that in a second. Put a pin in that one. We'll get to that in a second. So we have the different versions of Batman. We have the different versions of Bruce Wayne, at different points in his life, and then, okay, so we have the different versions of Batman. And they're all showing up in this area. So the different versions of Batman that we are dealing with, one is the main Batman, our main hero of the story. We have the Batman Who Laughs, who shows up, and then we have the Grim Knight. Now, the Grim Knight is basically a Batman from another parallel dimension, another universe, what have you, that has made the decision that he does use guns and he does shoot people and he does kill people. So for some reason, the Grim Knight is working with the Batman Who Laughs to create their favorite Gotham. But the thing is they don't even like each other. They ultimately, you think that if they win, they're going to eventually like try to kill each other for supremacy, because it's like the Highlander, there can only be one. There can only be one Bruce Wayne. There can only be one Batman. So that's another reason where I think they're killing all the Batman or all the Bruces, because there can only be one. But yet they're working together to what it's almost like it's the Hunger Games of Batman, like where, you know, sometimes you make up alliances and then you work to the point where it's just the, you know, the people that are in the alliance, and then they're like, okay, so, you know, the best of the best, let's kill each other. That's a possibility, but all of it is not very clear exactly what the end game is. And the end game partially involves poisoning all of Gotham by the means of a failsafe called Last Laugh. And Last Laugh, it seems like the whole idea of Last Laugh was something that ended up being some weird kind of like fake out, you know, well, now I got you, now I got you, now I got you, now I got you kind of situation going on between Batman, main Batman, and the Batman Who Laughs, that never really seemed kind of, it never really got all that clear to me. Who was fooling who here? I mean, in the end, you obviously, in the end, we have what happens, which is, guys, the Batman Who Laughs is being held prisoner in the Hall of Justice. I'm thinking. That should be the one villain that Batman should probably kill. Just a thought. Just a thought. Somebody that's bent on dominating, being the only Batman ever for all of history, to the point where they are eliminating all the Bruce Waynes, all the Batmans from universe to universe to universe until they come to yours. But then, then it confuses it even more by it being like, oh, now you're fully infected, now you're fully turning, now I'm gonna kill myself so that you can be me. Well, then what was the point of all that? What was the point? I am going to put you in a position so that you are just like me, so that I can beat you by killing myself? I don't get it. I don't get it. And then you have the whole situation of the Grim Knight, who is messing with Jim and his son at a certain point. And if you know anything about James Gordon Jr., he is not well. And has gotten in trouble because he's not well. But he's been getting help. And unfortunately, Papa Jim is not all that much into it. Like he doesn't trust his son at all, even though his son is like, look, I've been doing all these great things and I've been doing all these things, and I'm getting better. Can you help me? Can you help me, get better? And Jim, being father of the year, is like, nah, no, I don't believe you. And I'm not really all that willing to help my son. It produces a portrait of Jim Gordon where, yeah, you're kind of a jerk. It's your fucking son, man. You're kind of a jerk. I understand. He was a bad guy. He ends up being a bad guy again, but it's not. You also are presented with a person that has actually tried to make an effort to turn their life around, and there's something more there maybe I'm not getting. That's cool. Oh well. Um so the whole idea and the whole plan of the Grim Knight and the Batman Who Laughs working together was not all that clear to me. The whole overall plan, not all that clear to me, except for the fact that they wanted to poison Gotham. Now, how they were going to end up poisoning Gotham was through a serum. And it was basically going to turn everyone into little versions of the Batman Who Laughs. And it was not going to be good. And it wasn't. Now, eventually, you see Batman because, rewind, the Joker knows about what's going on. Like, the Joker knows about what's going on, and he's going to, like, try to get to Batman. So he ends up breaking into the Batcave, of all places. And they accidentally, there's an accident, and the Joker ends up almost dying. But Alfred saves him, but not before, whoops, the toxin gets released. It goes into Bruce Wayne, Batman, and he starts turning into the Batman Who Laughs, which basically is this whole thing about, like, the, theme of overcoming obstacles, and the what's the thought I'm trying to get off of this, the idea of um overcoming great obstacles with the with the positivity of who you are and being able to stay who you are and become overcoming great obstacles. Because the thing is like you have Batman who's like inching his way to being this guy to the point where it's pretty much happened. And it's one of those things where it's like you have pushed your main protagonist to the point where all is lost and then some. So like you've gotten him to the point where all seems lost, right? And everything is going to shit, right? All seems lost plus 500, okay? Like the Batman has defeated the Batman Who Laughs, but in the process has become the equivalent of the Batman Who Laughs? Is that what happened? Because then, the Batman Who Laughs seems defeated by Bruce Wayne, who is almost pushed to the point of the brink where all that happens, right? And then all of a sudden, you have, this epilogue type thing where he's defeated the Batman Who Laughs by almost becoming the Batman Who Laughs. And the Joker comes along and just shoots him because Batman had the Joker promise that if he ever became the Batman Who Laughs, he would kill him. So the Joker comes along and he's like, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to kill you now. And the thing is, it's like, I feel like the Joker could have been used more in this. I know, guys. I know what you might be thinking. Isn't the Joker used enough? Well, I think in a story about the Batman Who Laughs, we can use the Joker more. Because all of a sudden the Joker's just there and like, I'm right on cue. Ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille. And right on cue, it just shows up to shoot Batman. And then you're like, wait, Batman's dead then? That ain't right. That ain't right at all. And then you turn the page and basically it's like, Deus ex machina, like out of nowhere, like a blood transfusion saved Batman. A blood transfusion saved Batman. And you know what that tells us, kids? Give to the American Red Cross because your blood could save lives, especially Batman's. And so Batman has this, whole blood transfusion. It's unclear on exactly how that worked out. But it's Batman. And we are taken to this place and basically it's like it's wrap it up time, I get it. It's wrap it up time. So Batman gets this transfusion and it's still wearing off of him and you can tell that and that's basically that's when he reveals, we didn't kill the Batman Who Laughs. He's actually imprisoned. Bad idea, guys. Seriously. This might have been the moment where Batman should have probably, like, if he couldn't do it himself, maybe, like, turn around, while somebody else, like, don't kill him. Don't kill him. And then turned around. This would have been a perfect moment for the stylings of someone like Grifter or, Jason Todd that's like basically like shoot first, ask questions later. But Batman should have this one character, the Batman Who Laughs, should have been the one he's okay with letting it, if he's not, but then again, if he's not okay with killing the Joker, But seriously, for argument's sake, this is one where he should have been like, you shouldn't kill anyone. I gotta go to the bathroom and I'm gonna leave you alone with this guy and a fully loaded pistol. Cheers. Okay, so there were items in the story that were good. I liked the progression at a certain point, especially at the end with Jim Gordon and his son getting a little bit more understanding and a little bit of working room. Um, I liked the whole, like Bruce Wayne to be like, I did this, this, and this, and obviously these were things were different than him having to be surprised by himself, because Alfred is like, no, actually, I did some tests and you're wrong. I think you really did survive this because of the strength of your character, and which was a nice moment. I will say that was a nice moment. The strength of your character helped bring you through. Um, all like, criticism side of that kind of thing, it was a nice little thing. Like, here, your character, the strength and drive of your spirit, as Bruce Wayne, as Batman, brought you through to the other end, and you're going to be okay, kind of thing. It's the idea of, if there's going to be an upturn in anything that I'm criticizing here tonight, that's something that you can take from this story, is that the idea that, as long as, that you can overcome adversity, you can overcome problems in the world, believe in yourself, and just make sure that you are true to yourself, and the strength of your character, your morale, will help you get through what you're going through. And that's a nice way to look at it. And Batman should have killed or let someone else kill him. Seriously. Anyways, okay, guys, so I'm going to mention one thing right now. The number one thing that I disliked about this entire thing. If you think me talking about the storyline, things that I would have changed about it, things that were unclear, were me talking about the number one thing I disliked about this book, well, sorry, I dislike something more. I read with glasses. I live my life in glasses, like I said. And you can see now there's a glare. That's why sometimes I don't wear them while I'm doing these videos. And the thing is I definitely read with my glasses on. There is a style and design flaw in this that I have to draw attention to. Most people, when they read comic books, they read it in book format, on paper. Whenever the Batman Who Laughs was talking, it was this thin, wiry red writing on black. And I gotta tell you, there were so many times where I'm sitting there like, and barely being able to read it with my glasses on, you know? That's the way most people read their comics. Most people still read it in book form, comic form, floppy or book, either way, on paper. Very rarely do they go to this, which is, I do, and I have talked about on occasion, supplement my reading between books and DC Universe Infinite. Mostly because the DC Universe Infinite is on my phone. I can carry it wherever. Like, I don't like to read books in bed. But if I'm like just kind of wanting to lay in bed and read, well, there it is right there in the palm of my hand. And my phone also acts as my alarm clock. So it's right by my bed. It's just always right by my bed with me. And plus, I can take it with me anywhere. So if I go someplace and I need to have something to read for a few minutes, I've got it. The thing is I also really love holding it in my hand in book form. So I do both. And I will say that if you are going to read The Batman Who Laughs and you have corrective vision like myself, I'm going to recommend that if you want to read The Batman Who Laughs, even, I would do it digitally. Digitally, I was able to read it a lot better, a lot easier. That writing still did plague me a little bit. The design of having the thin, red, wiry lettering on top of the black still was a problem. But not nearly as much of a problem as having it in print form. That took me out of the story, quite frankly, quite a bit. Took me out of the story. It was having it be something that was not easy for my eyes to read. Did take me out of the story quite a bit, and might have been partially to blame for my viewpoints, and things not being clear, because, quite frankly, I was sitting there, frustrated that I couldn't read the damn thing without having to strain everything, to do so. And then even then, I'm like, I think it says this. I'm not sure. I'm gonna keep reading and hopefully fill in blanks. So if you are a writer or creator of comic books, I'm gonna say one thing, and it's gonna be like, don't do that. Don't do that. I I I wonder, and I might actually try to do this sometime, like inverting the color on one of those, like, see, and if you can still get the effect with the red background and the black writing, and see if it's easier to read. I don't know. You still have the same color concept, but the design is a little bit easier on the eyes. I don't know. I hate to. This was the major problem for me while reading it. Quite honest. I know I did talk a lot about the story, and yeah, I mean, it was rough for me, the story wise, but nothing was quite as rough as actually sitting there and not being able to physically read what I was reading. And it possibly is the part that took me out of the story so much. Maybe. I'm gonna say maybe. I'm gonna say actually, yeah, maybe the design involving the lettering did take me out of the story a little bit. I'm gonna form that hypothesis and say that maybe that might be part of the culprit, because honestly, I'm a Batman girl. Like, I read a lot of Batman. And those of you that, have been here know I read a lot of DC comics. I read a lot of Batman, and it surprises the heck out of me that I didn't like Metal. In fact, let me look at something real quick here, because so here we had the red on black here, and I think maybe it's just a different font, but the red on black here I can read. So, like, looking at, because I happen to have Metal sitting here. in seeing anything that had the Batman Who Laughs, like, let's see here. Yeah, see, I can read that. I can read that. Yeah, no, and that's, to come to think of it, like, just sitting here thinking about it, like, yeah, like, all this, who did the lettering on this particular issue? This is, let me see. So one of those comics that has all that stuff at the end? No, it's not. So I'll find the beginning here of this one, of this chapter. Because I'm curious, like, because... Okay. Steve Wands could do it, and I understood it. Steve Wands, thank you. I was sitting here talking about it, and I was like, you know what? I don't recall having had that problem with metal, because it was the same concept, the red on the black. So I don't think it's the. It might not be the color concept at all. It might be the font. It might be the font. Actually, it's a different font, slightly different font. Like it's got that edginess. Hello, guy. My cat's below me, and I didn't realize it. It has that edginess with the font in metal, like, cause that's the resistance. Let me see here. Let's see what it looks like, cause I don't recall having problems while reading metal. He's talking a dream. Come on, where are you at here? See, no, like, here it's a different font. Okay, so, like, this is one of the metal issues. And it's Steve Wands. Steve Wands again. Yeah. But the font is different. And it's not... I think it's the font, seriously, because I'm not having any trouble, like, near, far, anything looking at that, like, I think it's the font. It's not the color scheme. So scratch what I said about the color design. It's the font, I think, because it's definitely red on black in there, and I can read it easily. Easily. Yeah. But anyways, that was a major issue I had with Batman Who Laughs. I couldn't read part of it. Honestly, it was hard to read part of it. But the part that I did get, there were things that were good. The idea, the theme of the character, your spirit, overcoming odds, because of being true to who you are. That was top notch. I do include that on the part of the positives. Art, again, by Jock, fantastic. How do you do that where you have plenty of variation of color but still look dark as fuck? I'm not sure, but you did it. You did it. But nice theme. I see where you're trying to go with this, Scott Snyder, but it just didn't completely hit the mark with me. And that's okay. I can see where you were going with it, at least. And I do appreciate the theme and where you were trying to go with it. Because it's nice. It's a nice theme overall. Like, really, for real, it is. Anyways, if anyone has any viewpoints. That's about it for Batman Who Laughs. Guys, I am still working towards 50 subscribers. I'm going to be doing a giveaway involving that, and so it's going to be a little bit of a grab bag of some of my projects, and also some comic related stuff as well. So please let me know what you thought in the comments about the Batman Who Laughs, or my viewpoints on it, and let me know what you thought about it. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to subscribe. If you're interested in being a part of possibly winning this prize, then subscribe if you haven't already, comment and like the video, and you will be entered. So as soon as we can get to 50 and not lose people, like I just lost some people. I lost a person or two here, and I'm sure it probably had something to do with my viewpoints involving toys. I'm sure. But, here's the thing. It's okay. I like Batman. Oh, golly. Yeah. Turn the other way, Batman. I'm gonna go use the toilet, and if you choose to shoot the Batman Who Laughs, well, whoops. Anyways, okay, guys, so that's it. Please comment and like and subscribe if you're not already, to be entered into the subscriber when we hit 50. And I'm gonna give something away. So, woohoo! Okay, so here's the thing. We are going to. I need to take a little bit of a break from heavy stuff. So I think the next thing I pretty much decided the next thing I'm going to be reading as a collected edition will be the volume 1 of Lore Olympus, the award-winning webtoon comic, and it is. I have read a little bit of it, not a lot of it, and I'm intrigued. I wanna see where this goes, and it seems like it's a little bit soapier of a read. So I'm into that idea. As always, please check out my Sunday video, which is the Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Review. I have 3 comics to review this week. This is what happens when we have 5, I think it's 5 Tuesdays in a month, and that's pretty much what happened with March. And so we have 5 Tuesdays, so usually that last Tuesday is very light. And that's precisely what happened. We have Shadow War Alpha, Beyond the White Knight, and Swamp Thing. Those are the 3. So definitely I'm going to get that Lore Olympus read, believe me, pretty quick like. So, but yeah, check out the Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Review this Sunday. As always, every week we do the What's Happening Wednesday. If you missed it this week, it's up. You can go watch it right now and listen to Joe and I talk about the first episode of Moon Knight, which we enjoyed, and can't wait to see the next one, see where this goes. But anyways, this has been the collected edition Flashback Friday of the Batman Who Laughs, and it's the officially unofficial Geek channel. Please, like I said, subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you thought of the Batman Who Laughs if you've read it, and let me know what you think of Jock's drawing, or Jock's art, because I think it's top notch. He's fastly becoming one of my favorites that I've seen, and until next time, I'll be seeing you guys. Bye.